Good morning, students. Last time I told you about the simple permanent tissue. In simple permanent tissue, I told you about the parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. Now, in the continuation, now see the one more additional tissue, that is the protective tissue. Protective tissues are the tissue which protect the plant body by forming an outer layer. These are of two types. Number one is epidermis, that is simple tissue. The next is the bark. Bark is cork simple tissue, that is called bark. Is it okay? Or also called the cork. Then first is the epidermis and second one is the cork. This is also called bark. Then see the first one. Epidermis, I can explain you with the help of this diagram. Now see. Epidermis is the outer layer which do not have any intercellular space. It means the cells of this tissue do not have intercellular space. They are compactly packed. And these are present on the all the surfaces. Now see lower epidermis. This is also a compact type of cells. There is no interspace in between them. Then this tissue protect the plant from the entry of the water, germs into the body of the plants. Then cells of the epidermal tissues form a continuous layer without intercellular spaces. I already told you there is no intercellular space in between the cells. Now you can see in this diagram the outer layer, upper layer, this is the upper epidermis, this is the lower epidermis, and outer one more layer is there, that is called the cuticle, and lower side also cuticle is present. And in between these epidermal cell, stomatas are also present. Stomatas are present. Stomata contain two guard cells, and in between the stomatal cavity is there, and these help in the transpiration as well as the exchange of gases. Now see, stomata are the small opening on epidermal layer of the leaf and all the soft part of the stem that facilitate the gases exchange and transpiration in the plant. And I told you earlier also, each stomata is composed of two guard cells which regulate the opening and closing of the stomata. Now in desert plant, especially in the desert plant, epidermis and cutin. Cutin is a water protective or we can say waterproof waxy substance present on the epidermis. What is the use of that cutin? This help or we can say it reduce the loss of water in the transpiration, and especially in the desert plant because the water is already less there in the soil. That's why the water availability to the plants is less. That's why plant have to retain maximum water inside. That's why the stomatas and all the epidermis surface that is covered by a thick layer of the cutin, so that this is also called cuticle, and so that the water will not evaporate and the less water will evaporate from the leaves. Now next is second protective tissue is cork. It is called cork. Then, okay, now it is, I think it is visible to you. Then cork is the second protective tissue. Then these are the tissue consists of the dead cell with no intercellular spaces. Actually, what happened when the epidermis becomes dead? Then so many layers of it they collect on the outer surface of the tree or plant, that all the dead cell they all together called the cork, and they do not have any intercellular space. They form the outer layer of the old tree trunk. Cork cell have a chemical called suberin inside. That is, what's the name of that substance? That is called suberin. And this suberin, it is impervious for the gas and water. Cork tissue prevent plant from the injury and entry of the any germs, and it also protected from the water loss. It is very lightweighted and used for making the several product as bottle stopper and shuttle cork, and you all know cork balls are also there, which are then cork is used mostly in making the sport material, as you know, the knee pad and elbow pad, these all have inside the cork. It is spongy as well as the light weight. Now, next is complex tissue. There are two complex tissue. One is xylem and second is phloem. Now, why these tissues are called a complex tissue? These are called complex tissue because they have a group of different type of cells, or we can say different type of tissues. Different type of tissue, they all together perform a similar kind of work, and they help to perform a similar kind of the work. That's why they are called the complex tissue. Normally I told you tissue is a group of similar kind of cells, but in this tissue there are different type of the cells, but they all together perform the particular task. That's why it is called the complex tissue. Then complex tissue are of two type. One is called xylem and second is called phloem. Now see one by one. First is xylem. As I told you earlier also, xylem is a tissue which help in the conduction of water and mineral. It help in the conduction of water and mineral. Now there are four parts of xylem. Xylem have its four component. First is called tracheid, second is called vessels, then parenchyma and the sclerenchyma. Now see one by one. First is tracheids. These are in the pictures, or in the picture also you can see these are the tracheids. Tracheids are the long cells with the tapering end. Tapering end means this type of ends, having this type of end. These ends are called the tapering end. Can you see? You can see in the diagram also. It is given to you. And these cells are the dead cell. They help in the transportation of water. The next is vessels. Now see, these are the sorry, these are the vessels. The vessels, the cells of vessels, they are, you can see these are the vessels. These cells join end to end and they make a long pipe for the conduction of water. And their cell wall is cell wall has the deposition of the lignin. They have the deposition of lignin so that they become strong. The next pits are present on the wall of tracheids, as well as you can see the pits. These are the pits. These are present in the tracheid as well as the vessels. Next is the parenchyma. Parenchyma cells. Now parenchyma cells are the living cells. They store the food and nutrient for the this whole xylem tissue. Next is sclerenchyma fibers. Sclerenchyma fibers are the dead fibers and they provide the mechanical strength. Is it okay? Once again revise it. First part of the xylem is tracheid, second is vessel, third is parenchyma, fourth is sclerenchyma fiber. Tracheids are long, having the tapering ends, and they are dead. Special one character is they are dead. Then second, vessels are also dead. Parenchyma fibers are also dead. Only living is the parenchyma cells. Only this is the living component of the xylem. Okay, then next is phloem. Then next is phloem. Now see phloem. Phloem also have the four components. It has in the conduction of the food from the site of photosynthesis to the site where it is used or it is stored. Now see, the first component is the seed cell, second is companion cell, third is phloem parenchyma, then sclerenchyma. Now see one by one. In the diagram also I can show you. I have to enlarge it. Now see. Now, it have four component I told you. Then see the first one, sieve tube element, companion cell, and phloem parenchyma, as well as phloem sclerenchyma. One more is phloem sclerenchyma, sclerenchymatous fibers. Is it okay? Then four component. This is a common component. Two are the common component. One is the parenchyma and second is the sclerenchyma. Okay. Then see the first one, sieve cells. Sieve cells are the long and thin walled cell. The this middle one is structure, sieve cells, and they have the cytoplasm but no nucleus is present. The special character is without nucleus. It means sieve cells are without nucleus. They don't have nucleus. Then how they perform their work and who command that cell? Then it is the nucleus of companion cell which command over the work of the itself as well as sieve cells. Is it okay? Now, next is sieve cell transport food and nutrients. Now see, I have to enlarge the diagram. In the sieve cell, these are the ants of the one sieve cell. They join together to form the sieve tube element. Now, these ants, now again I can draw this diagram. This is the diagram of sieve cell. Here the pores are present. This plate or this cell wall is porous. It is for the transportation of the food from one cell to another cell, so that the food through the cytoplasm of one cell to another, another to next one, it continuously move where it has to transfer it and where it is stored. Then these plates, these are called sieve tube plates. What these are called? Sieve tube plates. These help in the transportation of food. Now, next, okay, then companion cell. I told you they have the cytoplasm, nucleus, and they command over its nucleus command on its work as well as the functioning of the sieve tube cells. The next is phloem parenchyma. Phloem parenchyma and sclerenchyma. These are the two elements which are common in the xylem as well as phloem. Then what is the function of the phloem parenchyma? Then see, phloem parenchyma, it stores the food. These are the living cells. Second, sclerenchyma fibers. They are dead cells. They are the dead fibers and they help in the providing mechanical strength to the plant. Is it okay? Okay, then next is difference between xylem and phloem. Then see the differences. Now xylem, first is xylem and second is the phloem. Xylem transport water and minerals, whereas phloem transport food material. Then xylem consists of tracheid, vessels, xylem fiber, xylem parenchyma, or we can say xylem fiber means xylem sclerenchyma. Then phloem consists sieves, cells, companion cells, and two are common, phloem fibers and phloem parenchyma. Then third is xylem. In the xylem, only parenchyma is living, other all the three components are dead. Whereas in the phloem, sieve tube cells, sieve cells, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, these all are living. Only dead part is phloem sclerenchyma, or we can say phloem fibers or sclerenchyma. The next is tracheid vessel xylem fibers are dead tissue. Here the it is written phloem fibers are dead. The next is xylem give the mechanical strength to the plant, whereas phloem does not give any mechanical strength to the plant. The next is, I told you, sclerenchyma fibers help in giving the mechanical strength to the tissue, that particular tissue phloem. The next is a Connection of the water by xylem is unidirectional. Xylem have the unidirectional flow of water. As we already know, water always absorbed by the roots and then this is transported to the upper parts, or we can say towards the leaf and the branches. It have the only unidirectional flow, that is from soil to or we can say down to upward, uh, or simply we can say upward flow. Then next is the phloem. Phloem have the bidirectional flow. What's the meaning of bidirectional flow? We all know food is formed in the leaf. Site of photosynthesis are leaf. Then from there, the food is transported to stem, roots, downside. As well as when food is required. Suppose one example I can give you. Suppose in the plants which shade their leaf, then at the time when the sprouting takes place in that plant, then they require the food. That time the food which is stored in the roots stem that goes to the leaves. Now this is the example of in normal time it conduction of food takes place from upward to downward, and when it is required then it may be from upward also. Is it okay? Then we can say it is bidirectional flow. It means phloem have bidirectional flow of food. Example from leaf to storage organ or the growing tips, or from the storage organ to the growing part of the plant. Okay, then it is enough for today. You make the notes of these slides and next topic I will explain in the next video. Okay, thank you.